Good morning, guys. We're going to go over our math lesson for today, lesson 5.2. Here's our visual learning video.
What do you see here? You see pictures of bugs. There are insects, caterpillars, millipedes, and spiders. Can you find a bug that has 6 legs? This ladybug has 6 legs. Can you find a bug that has 8 legs? This spider has 8 legs. This creature has lots of legs. Does it have more than 6 legs?
Okay, so again, students are going to need to know that concept of more and less for this video.
Yes, it has more than 6 legs. You can classify the creatures by those that have 6 legs and those that do not have 6 legs. Which category does this show? This shows the category has 6 legs. This shows the category does not have 6 legs.
Okay, so for this part, you really want to make sure kids are understanding that language, category, and classify. So they need to be able to sort or categorize or classify these bugs into these two spots. Okay, I'm not going to do the try it video.
This is a chart. A chart is a way of showing what you find or how many you count. This is a tally mark. One tally mark represents each creature you count. This is a good way to make sure you count each one. Count the tally marks in each category.
Okay, so now students should be able to go through and count each of these lines. Since they're pretty close together, they might want to actually use their finger to touch these on the video.
How is this chart different than the one before? In this chart, there are no tally marks. There is just one number in each category. Do the numbers match the number of tally marks you counted? Yes, the numbers match the tally marks. Using a number is another way of recording your count. What does 6 mean? What does 7 mean?
So here we want to make sure that kiddos understand that these numbers actually are representing these categories of bugs. So they should be able to use with language, tell you something along the lines of 6 shows us the bugs that have 6 legs.
There are 6 creatures with 6 legs. There are 7 creatures that do not have 6 legs.
Okay, so now we're going to jump into the lesson. So again, for today's lesson, lesson 5.2, we're going to continue to work on categorizing and classifying, but I think today we're using tally marks. So for this first problem right here, remember it's a solve and share, so it means you read the problem out loud. The kiddo uses the picture or manipulatives to solve. So Carlos goes outside and sees some creatures. How many creatures does he see on the ground? How many does he see that are not on the ground? Tell how you know. So here, what you can have the kiddos do is put their tally marks on the side over here, and then they can, so I'll do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to count the creatures on the ground. 1, and I like to even put a line through them. 2, 3, especially as kiddos are working on being able to recognize so that they didn't miss any. That's typically where kiddos make the mistake. So then we would ask, how do you make a 3? Around a tree, around a tree. Okay, and then how many are not on the ground? So we're going to go through and tally mark these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to have some kids who can subitize these animals, these creatures too, so where they don't actually even have to count and tally mark them. But for the purpose of the lesson and practicing those tally marks, we can make sure they do that. They could also do their tally marks down here. Okay. All right, and it doesn't look like here in this lesson yet they have the kids doing the slash for the tally mark, but that is something that I would like them to do. So one of the things that you can make sure that they're doing here is anytime that they make a group of 5, like we did here, they're slashing, because that's just a tip, that's the way we count tally marks. That's their whole purpose. If we have a whole bunch of lines right here lined up and they're not slashing, it makes it really hard to count these. So if I went about it this way and say I had more lines to do, okay, it gets really confusing for somebody to go through and count these and maybe making a mistake. So this is not the way we want to do this. Okay, remember we want to teach that it's 1, 2, having a hard time with these, 3, 4, and then you're going to slash for 5. All right, so same thing here as we're tracing their work right here. We're gonna, we can trace theirs, that's fine, but what I would like the kids working on is those slashes. So maybe underneath you can have your kiddo draw how we would do it with the slashes. So here that we're classifying the animals in the water and the animals that are not in the water. So as your kiddo's doing this, get my marker here. Okay, so they're gonna go through and count 1, 2, and again, they should be doing this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here, if I go over and make my tally marks, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is that slash, 6. See, and again, this is so much visually, it's so much easier to read this. You know that this is 5 and 1. 5 and 1 is easier to count than all these lines that are smushed together. Okay, and then here we're going to do the animals not in the water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here down here we're going to draw it the right way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to slash 5. Okay, and then since we had, again, we're trying to show number representation, we're going to ask the kiddos, okay, how many again did we have over here? How do we write that number? So they should write their 6 here. How many did we have over here? How do we write that number? Please remember to always have your kiddos start at the top line when they're writing their numbers, so that they're not going backwards like from the bottom line up. Okay, it helps with letter form or number formation. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. It looks like we're classifying bugs with legs, and if we don't know, we can always read under here. So have students draw lines in the chart as they count the animals that have 8 legs and the animals that do not have 8 legs. Then write the numbers to show how many are in each category. Okay, so we're going to look for their legs, and again, this one's going to be a little tricky just because it's so close. Their legs are so small. So here we've got 4 and 4. 4 and 4 make 8. Okay. Here we have 4 and 4. 4 and 4 make 8. Okay. Here we have 4 and 4. 4 and 4 make 8. So that's how I'm doing this, and this is how I would suggest you teach your kiddos to do it. We've got 4 and 4. 4 and 4 make 8. Here, there's a lot more than 8. We're going to skip that one. 4 and 4 make 8. 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 Okay, and then here it looks like for these ants, 1, 2, 3, there's 3 and 3. So we're not counting those as a part of this group. And this caterpillar has more than 8, so we're not counting that either. So now we're going to go through and count how many we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're going to make 8 tally marks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to stop at 4 because we're going to do our slash now. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and now we're going to go through and count the bugs that did not have 8 legs, which would have been right here. 1, 2, 3. So with these, you can always use a different color too, if that helps your kiddos see that better. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to ask, okay, we need to now write the numbers for our tally marks. So you could have them write the number right after they do this, or you can have them do both and then go back and write both. Doesn't matter. So 5 and 3 made 8. Okay, make an S, do not wait, go back up. That's the way we make an 8. Okay, and then our 3 here, again, start at that top line, around a tree, around a tree. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I think that you guys can figure the rest of this out. Make sure, again, that when kiddos are doing this, that they understand the directions. So parents are going to have to read these directions so they know what they're looking for in each category. Okay, and remember, don't forget that slash as they're counting their tally marks when they hit 5. Okay, that is it for today's math lesson. I hope you guys are doing well today. Bye-bye.